Hey and welcome. Miss Kira Speaks. Before we get started, I ask that you watch the videos till the end, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. We're back again for another one of my watch lists, you guys. As you know, my watch list typically consists of TV, streaming, and film, old, new, and in between. Some I've watched before and some I'm currently watching. I will give you my mostly spoiler-free breakdown of 2 or more shows with some additional recommendations. I just want to say welcome to any newcomers. I hope that you'll subscribe, share with a friend, and return for future content. To my subscribers, thank you so much for your continued support. I appreciate you. Child, it has been a week. I have not been feeling well. I've been homesick from work for most of the week. Couldn't hardly do nothing. But I'm here. And eventually, I would like to get back to some more regular content, something other than watch lists and pajama Sundays. Just know it's coming. But life be lifing with your girl. But tonight, here, right now, we're going to get this thing done, wrap this thing up so your girl can go have a glass of wine and relax. This camera looks crooked, y'all. That'll either cure it or kill it. Anyway, as you can see from the title, tonight we are here to discuss my Halloween picks, because after all, it is spooky season. Now, I am not big into horror or chillers. When I was younger, and I think that was mostly FOMO. And I'm sure you can tell by my picks. And I'm giving these to you in date order. First up is The Shining, released in 1980. Jack Torrance becomes winter caretaker at the Overbrook Hotel in Colorado, hoping to cure his writer's block. He settles in along with his wife, Wendy, and his son, Danny, who is plagued by psychic premonitions. As Jack's writing goes nowhere and Danny's visions become more disturbing, Jack discovers the hotel's dark secrets and begins to unravel into a homicidal maniac, hell-bent on terrorizing his family. This oldie but goodie stars Jack Nicholson, and Nita, your favorite diva, suggests that you watch Dr. Sleep. So it's on my list. You can watch both that and The Shining now on HBO Max. Next up is Friday the 13th, released in 1980. Crystal Lake's history of murder doesn't deter counselors from setting up summer camp in the woodsy area. Superstitious locals warn against it, but the fresh-faced young people, Jack, Alice, Bill, Marcy, and Ned, pay little heed to the old-timers. Then they find themselves stalked by a brutal killer. As they're slashed, shot, and stabbed, the counselors struggle to stay alive against a merciless opponent. Child, sometimes you just gotta listen to the older folk. This one starred Kevin Bacon and was the first of 11 in the series, not including Freddy vs. Jason. Are you guys Jason fans? Next up is Poltergeist, released in 1982. Strange and creepy happenings beset an average California family, the Freelings. Steve, Diane, teenage Dana, 8-year-old Robbie, and 5-year-old Carol Ann, when ghosts commune with them through the television set. Initially friendly and playful, the spirit turns unexpectedly menacing. And when Carol Ann goes missing, Steve and Diane turn to a parapsychologist and eventually an exorcist for help. This one stars Craig T. Nelson. Them youngest kids, they be the ones. My youngest, and I can say that because I'm the baby. Now, I didn't catch these first few picks until I was older because I would have only been like 4 when this came out. But you can watch it now on HBO Max. Next up, A Nightmare on Elm Street, released in 1984. In Wes Craven's classic slasher film, several Midwestern teenagers fall prey to Freddy Krueger, a disfigured midnight mangler who preys on teenagers in their dreams, which in turn kills them in reality. After investigating the phenomenon, Nancy begins to suspect a dark secret kept by her and her friend's parents that may be key to unraveling the mystery. But can Nancy and her boyfriend Glenn solve the puzzle before it's too late? The movie stars Robert Englund, Heather Langenkamp, with an appearance by Johnny Depp. The first in a series of 7, I believe. I remember watching this one a few years after it came out and being scared to go to sleep. Was I the only one? Next up is Child's Play, released in 1988. Gunned down by Detective Mike Norris, dying murderer Charles Lee Ray uses black magic to put his soul inside a doll named Chucky, which Karen Barclay then buys for her young son, Andy. When Chucky kills Andy's babysitter, the boy realizes the doll is alive and tries to warn people, but he's institutionalized. Now, Karen must convince the detective of the murderous doll's intentions before Andy becomes Chucky's next victim. The first of 8, and now I believe there's also a Chucky TV series that you can catch on Peacock. Have you guys checked out either season of Chucky? Drop down in the comments and let me know. Next up is Pet Semetary, released in 1989. Dr. Lewis Creed moves his family to Maine, where he meets a local named Judd Crandall. After the Creed's cat is accidentally killed, Crandall advises Lewis to bury it in the ground near the old pet cemetery. The cat returns to life. Its personality changed for the worse. When Lewis's son Gage dies tragically, Lewis decides to bury the boy's body in the same ground, despite the warnings of Crandall and Lewis's visions of a deceased patient. Always heed those warnings. Grief is something else, boy. This one is one of 2 films and was an adaptation of Stephen King's book by the same name. Now you know Stephen King is going to give you a good horror. His son Joe, who typically doesn't use his last name, is also a good writer too. Next up is Candyman, released in 1992. Skeptical graduate Helen Lyle befriends Anne Marie McCoy while researching superstitions in a housing project on Chicago's near North Side. From Anne Marie, Helen learns about the Candyman, a knife-wielding figure of urban legend that some of her neighbors believe to be responsible for recent murder. After a mysterious man matching the Candyman's description begins stalking her, Helen comes to fear that the legend might be all too real. It stars Tony Todd, Virginia Madison, and Vanessa Williams. Now, I never did watch the sequel, Farewell to the Flesh, nor did I say that man's name 5 times. Now, they did a remake that got 50-50 reviews, and I did give it a watch for this list. And all I can say is, how do you let your hand get like that? Ugh. You can check it out now on Epix or Prime Video. Next up is Scream, released in 1996. A year after the murder of her mother, a teenage girl is terrorized by a new killer who targets the girl and her friends by using horror films as part of a deadly game. A modern classic by Wes Craven with a star-studded cast. We have Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, Drew Barrymore, and Rose McGowan. 6 movies, a series, and loads of inspiration later, Scream lives on. And although I only watched like the first 3, this was a horror movie that I truly enjoyed. You can watch it now on Paramount Plus. Next up is Halloween H2O, released in 1998. 2 decades after surviving a massacre on October 31st, 1978, former babysitter Laurie Strode finds herself hunted by a persistent, knife-wielding Michael Myers. Laurie now lives in Northern California under an assumed name, where she works as the headmistress of a private school. But it's not far enough to escape Myers, who soon discovers her whereabouts. As Halloween descends upon Laurie's peaceful community, a feeling of dread weighs upon her, with good reason. I'll be clowning, y'all. Of course, we have Jamie Lee Curtis. And the real reason that I went to the theater to actually see this one, LL Cool J, of course, because ladies, we do love the Cool J, okay? Now, are you guys Team Jason or Team Michael Myers? Last up is Saw, released in 2004. Photographer Adam Stanheidt and oncologist Lawrence Gordon regain consciousness while chained to a pipe at either ends of a filthy bathroom. As the 2 men realize that they've been trapped by a sadistic serial killer nicknamed Jigsaw and must complete his perverse puzzle to live, flashbacks relate to the fates of his victims. Meanwhile, Dr. Gordon's wife and young daughter are forced to watch his torture via closed-circuit video. Child, the church's dream. I joke. This was another one where I only saw like the first 2 or 3, but there's like 7 or 8 of them. Now, I do plan on watching Spiral with Chris Rock. Don't judge me, okay? You can watch all of the Saws except for Spiral now on Peacock. I believe Spiral is on Stars. Now, for some honorable mentions, a little more in my wheelhouse and family friendly. Hocus Pocus 2 dropped on September 30th on Disney Plus. 2 young women accidentally bring back the Sanderson sisters to modern day Salem. And now they must figure out how to stop these child-hungry witches from wreaking havoc on the world. Also, check out The Curse of Bridge Hollow, released on October 14th. Child, when I tell you, not my ring light trying to give up the ghost at the end of the video. Now, where were we? A man and his daughter must team up to save their town from an ancient and mischievous spirit causing Halloween decorations to come alive and wreak havoc. Starring Marlon Wayans and Priya Ferguson, also with an appearance by the Kelly Rowland, okay? You can catch it now on Netflix. Today, I believe also on Netflix, Wendell Wild dropped, y'all, okay? Haven't got a chance to see it, but I mean, it's written by, and he's also in the cast, Jordan Peele. We have Ving Rhames and more. But I mean, they had me at Angela Bassett, okay? What are some of your favorite horror or chiller films? Drop them down in the comments below for me. Hey, Crystal Girl. Now, I know this is your wheelhouse, so if you would be so kind as to drop some of your faves down in the comments, the people would truly appreciate it. Thanks, boo. Also, get down in the comments and let me know if you saw these and what you thought, or you can just let me know that you stopped by. In the meantime, if you are looking for more, please check out some of my other watch lists or content. Keep your notifications on, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.